He's right here. Hello.
Hi. Hi, Patricia. Nice to meet you. Hi, Ron.
Lefteris. Sorry, I didn't tell your name in my previous email.
No worries. I got a new nickname from the team now. I am Jeff.
Sorry. I'm sorry. It's been a really long week.
Oh yeah, no worries.
It's been a really long week, and it's just Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah. You cannot imagine.
Yeah, 17 days a week.
Oh my God.
Can I ask you something? Are we going to share screen with a presentation, or we are going to speak like that?
You can do both. How do you feel more comfortable with?
I don't mind. Whatever you suggest.
You have around 3
minutes.
4 minutes to explain your project. So whatever you feel more comfortable with. I don't know, Maria and Nonso. I don't know.
I don't have any slide. I just want to talk it through.
But that's fine. We have done it both ways previously, and I think that's fine.
Yeah, so we will just give about 3, 4, 5 minutes for people to file in. And then while we also get the stream started on Facebook, I assume, can't really figure out which of these accounts is Taylor, but I think he's working on it now. I'm not sure. And yeah, so we'll just give people some time to file in, and then we'll get started.
Ron, you there?
Yeah.
Should we today? We have we can take advantage that Maria is here. Maria Esther is here today to take maybe 1 or 2 questions in Spanish, as we were doing in the beginning. What do you think?
Yeah, we can offer that for sure.
Yeah. Sorry, Lefteris, I don't speak Greek.
I don't think many people do.
And I don't speak French. Maybe where is Nonso from? I don't know, because maybe there is French people and not Spaniards or Spanish speaking. I don't know. Depending how you prefer, Ron.
No, we'll stick with the normal format.
Okay.
Okay, so I think we are going to go live now. There we go. So Nonso, you said that you had wanted to share the live on your social. So if you have found our Facebook account, it will be live there. So hello everyone and welcome back to Unmasking Plastic. This week's edition called Monetize-it. It's our 7th webinar, honing in on the true roots of our plastic crisis. We are in the second half of the series, looking at the different solutions from different angles. And today we will be focusing specifically on solutions that that clean plastic directly from the environment, and also those that then monetize that plastic and turn it into another economic opportunity. So without any further ado, I will pass it over to Patty, who will get us started.
Hello, everyone, and thank you very much for being one more week with us. And I would like to remember to everyone that this is our last expert panel of the series so far, and that you can go and check all the videos we have done before on Sustainable Ocean Cleanup. I know Sustainable Ocean Alliance. Oh my God, how am I today? And yeah, I would like to introduce you to our 3 experts of the week. Maria Esther, Lefteris, and Nonso. And I would like them to introduce themselves for 3 to 4 minutes and explain what do they do with their organizations and projects and why it's so important for the planet. Maria, would you like to start?
No, I'm sorry. Yes, well, I'm Maria Esther Briz. I am a project coordinator for Mingas por el Mar in Ecuador. We are basically a citizen-based initiative that started 5 years ago, and it continues to be the same way. In just a few years, we have gone from being a very small group based in one city in Guayaquil to be 20 groups nationwide. We are mostly known for doing beach cleanups, and we organize in different locations in the country beach cleanups, but we mostly use it as a environmental education tool. We want people to, our main objective as a foundation is that we want people to change their consumption habits and try the problem and treat the problem from the source. So we do different projects, not just the cleanups, and we started this leadership program that is very important for us. This happened because when Mingas started to have more exposure in the media, we started receiving letters and photos from people all over the country about their pollution in their beaches. And we realized that it wasn't possible for just one single group of volunteers to go all over the country cleaning beaches. So Cecilia and Isabel, the founder of Mingas por el Mar, launched this Leaders Project to summon local actors and encourage them to form groups in their own communities. And it has been very successful because the local groups being there all the time, as a part of that community, they have greater knowledge of what's happening there, and they are better linked to their local governments and educational institutes, and they can be a better linked to their own communities, more than just one group that goes there, does a beach cleanup and leaves and go back to their city. And right now, each group does at least one monthly cleanup on their surrounding beaches. And most important, they are developing local projects as inclusive recycling programs or educations to fishermen. It all depends to what it's depending on the local needs. But we also do research. We are part of the groups in Ecuador and outside Ecuador, and we do research also on marine litter, and we are working right now with different projects on trash imports and international trash commerce and these kind of subjects. So this is basically what we do in Mingas por el Mar.
Okay, thank you very much, Maria Esther. I will ask you about to explain further a few points that you have mentioned, but that will be a bit later. Lefteris, could you please introduce your project, please?
Hi, hello from me. My name is Lefteris Arapakis, and I am the co-founder of Enalia. We started the project in Greece. If you're okay, maybe I can share screen and show you like a very short presentation, just to give you a better glimpse on what we do. So we started back in 2017 when unemployment had exploded in Greece. It was more than 29%. At the same time, I knew that the fishing sector was getting older. So the average age of Greek fishermen is 63. I knew that because my family have been working as fishermen for at least 5 generations. So we decided with a group of friends to create the first school for professional fishing in Greece. And the last 3 years, we have trained more than 100 unemployed people and created more than 85 jobs in the fishing sector. Here's a picture of the group in the 3 years anniversary of the Enalia. The point is that I didn't know anything about fishing. I think I am still the worst fisherman in the country. So when we were designing the curriculum, we went on fishing trips. This is a picture I took in our first fishing trip in Cyclades. So what shocked me is that the fishermen were collecting from the sea, not only fish, but also plastic. And actually it was a blitz can of a soda drink, exactly like that took my attention. It had expired back in 1987. So it was 30 years in the sea. And as I'm looking at that, the fisherman takes it from my hand and throws it back in the sea while saying to me, you know, Lefteris, this is not our problem. So we researched on that and we found out it is. Like by 2050, there will be more plastic than fish in the sea. So there will be no use of getting there more fishermen if there will be no fish in a few years. So that's why we started training the local fishermen in the port that we operate in Piraeus to just bring back the plastic they were getting in their nets. And the pilot was very successful. They were bringing a lot of quantities. So that's why we decided to create a new project, Mediterranean Cleanup. So it's a wide-scale cleanup of the Mediterranean Sea through working with fishermen. Now we operate in 11 ports, more 145 fishing boats, and a total of more than 750 fishers. So it's like a small community working for that. We are in 2 countries, and currently we collect around 3,000 kilos of plastic from the bottom of the sea every week. Plastic that varies from, you know, plastic bags, motorcycles that we get like deep in the waters, boats. This boat, we got it at 100 meters depth and we make it into an Arapakis. It's the same boat left and right. We have collected more than 80,000 kilos of plastic already. And yeah, here's a short video, maybe just to take an understanding how much plastic a fisherman is cleaning at night. So this is how much one single fishing boat is cleaning every night. So this is the one thing we do. And the other thing is that we also work about prevention. We don't want more plastic to end up in the sea, and fishing equipment is about 20 to 30% of all lost plastic in the oceans. So with all of these fishermen, we collect their used fishing equipment, and then all of this material, we recycle it. Around half of it is recycled with local recycling companies, and with the rest, we make products. So we send the PET plastic, the plastic bottles, to a fashion company in Spain, Equal, which upcycles into new fashion products. And we send the nets that we collect to Healthies, an environmental organization in the Netherlands that facilitates its upcycling into new products such as socks. We work with companies and foundations, and these are some of the socks that we have co-branded the last few months. So I don't want to take more of your time, and thank you very much for the opportunity to present our project.
Thank you for introducing the project to us. It's really interesting, and I will go and try to dig a little bit more deeper into some of the things that you have said. Nonso, could you please explain to us your project? Nonso? Maybe he's having some issues with the internet. His screen is freeze.
Seems that we've lost Nonso.
Yeah.
So why don't we just go ahead into the first round of deeper dive questions. And we can go back to
Maria Esther, I would like to start by asking you three questions, and then I will pass to Lefteris. But at the same time, if Nonso comes, I will try to go and go for his explanation. Maria Esther, I have to say that I was very lucky to be meeting Mingas por el Mar working in Galapagos in one of the expeditions that I did while working. And I really liked the approach that you're taking, and more in a Latin American country where the understanding I got is that this plastic pollution, social behavior change, it was a new thing because everything was related to is the consumer's problem, that's it. And I think that I really like the fact that Mingas por el Mar is a community-based project, which now it started as a community-based and now it's national, and in which people donate their time and their energy to clean their nearby beaches. But as you mentioned before, you also do some education. You are taking a very interdisciplinary approach toward plastic pollution, making a great effort to educate the community just beyond plastic, beyond cleaning up, as we mentioned. Why you are focusing in the education and having a broader mind? And what do you think the role of cleanups, the volunteers cleanups in plastic waste solution is?
Well, we know that we're not going to solve the problem by cleaning. So cleanups are a very powerful environmental education tool, because when it's very interesting when we do cleanups, we not just clean up, we do a lot. We collect data and we do inventory of every item we collect. We separate it, register it, and have all kind of data. And when people come to cleanups, especially people who are not part of the volunteer group of Mingas por el Mar, but other people that just come to the cleanups, and people from companies that do their volunteer work with us come to the cleanups, they have their first contact with this problem, and they realize that everything that they see there, they use it in their daily lives. So that it's a big eye-opener for them to change their habits. I've been in a lot of cleanups when people just say, I just didn't know this. I thought the beach was clean. I didn't know this, and I use all of this. I'll just cut it off. And that it's a very powerful educational tool, because when you just see slides or a movie or a documentary, you can connect that, but not in the way that object you use it. And they realize that the most of the marine pollution, it's not originated in the beach, but in terrestrial, in cities. So they have a real connection with what is happening there. And that's why we keep doing cleanups, even though we know it's not the real solution. We're using it as a tool for long-lasting solution that is the stop the consumption of certain items and certain kind of products.
And what about the role or what are you experiencing with voluntary work for cleaning up plastic waste? What do you think the role of volunteers are? Do you think it's fair for like volunteers to have to engage so much?
Well, we've had an amazing experience with volunteers. The growth that the group has had in this very few years, it's amazing. We're more than 250 volunteers in Mingas por el Mar. I mean, the real Mingas volunteers. And then we have a lot, as we usually do these open callings for the cleanups. We have a lot of people coming to the cleanups. But the thing is that the volunteers are not just going right now to the cleanups. They are getting involved in another projects, and that's what it's really interesting. It's not just that one monthly cleanup, but they are developing their own projects in their communities, all voluntarily, and they are looking at their local needs and addressing them. And they are using all this data we are collecting to knock on the municipalities' doors and telling them, hey, this is a problem and we need to solve them. And it's all based on volunteer work. I mean, all the people here they just do it for the love of the sea, and that's it.
Do you know if the municipalities or the government are putting funding for cleanups?
They are not financing or cleanups, but we are getting right now, we're getting to collaborate in different projects in different municipalities, and they are, even though they are not financing it, they are trying to work with us, and we are trying to find finance it outside. So, but it's very important to collaborate with them because they have the power to change, to make local laws. And
okay, thank you. I have one more question for you, but maybe we can go first to Nonso and listen to the introduction of Social Care. Hi, Nonso. We're happy to have you back. Your mic is off. Oh, brilliant. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Patricia. Sorry, I had internet connection problems, but it's fixed now. My name is Nonso Opurum, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Social Care. At Social Care, what we do is, Social Care is a low-cost micro-health insurance which accepts cash or recyclables to provide as premium to provide health insurance to millions of people who don't have access to healthcare across over 1,000 hospitals nationwide. I grew up in Nigeria, where over 50% of the population live below poverty line. Nigeria is a country of over 200 million people. So 50% of the population is about 100 million people, and these people live below poverty line. In Nigeria, over 90% of this population don't have access to health insurance. For millions of people, health insurance is an expensive luxury. And you see people dying from preventable diseases. Like every year in Nigeria, 55,000 women lose their life from pregnancy and childbirth. So possibly when you break those numbers down, that's roughly one woman dying every 7 minutes. In Nigeria, again, every single year, Nigeria accounts for 23% of malaria global burden. This is huge. Why over 400,000 people die? So as a company, we felt we could solve some of these problems. We could leverage on, use one problem to tackle the other problem. So we created Social Care. Because our goal is to ensure universal healthcare while also ensuring environmental sustainability. That's why we accept cash of $1 or $2, or we allow people to bring in recyclables, including plastics, steel, any form of recyclables, so they can access care. It's been our journey since July 2019. And since then, we've been able to pivot and have over 3,000 lives where we provide care. recycle over 17,000 tons of plastics, be recognized around the world by World Bank, by UN Habitat, by UN Earth, and last week by Qatar Foundation. So it's been our journey, and our journey is to constantly look at for ways of creating alternative forms of financing for healthcare inclusion in Africa. Thank you very much, Patricia.
No, thank you. I think that like I don't think, yeah, it's a very life-changing project, I would say, to many people. So thank you very much. I will ask one last question to Maria Esther, and I will come back to you and do some questions to you. That's okay. Maria Esther, just following what we were saying before, as we are talking about how to monetize from plastic pollution. I know that Mingas have just recently went a step farther in your project, and you have launched Patreon, an educational membership-based platform in which you produce and create podcasts, ebooks, videos, etc. Why have you decided to make this monetary-based option for the project?
Well, it's monetizing your project is always a challenge. It's one of the, I would say, the most frequent challenges organizations face. And we thought it was necessary to find a non-traditional way to do it. We had a group of creative people, very creative people in Mingas and Mar that came up with this solution. We had many people writing from different countries around the world, including Europe, asking how could they help. And we thought this could be a very good way to do it. We also wanted to amplify the scope of our work and make it visible in other countries. And we also think it's very interesting to be able to give material, content, and information in exchange for donations, not just asking for money, but also giving something in return that may be valuable for people who receive it. And that's how this solution came.
Yeah, I understand, and it's also, you have to live. You cannot live out of passion, right? So making a way of helping the planet, but also like being able to live out of what you do so well. It's important.
It's not just live, but you have to keep the organization and the logistics and everything running, and you need material to work. Even though our work is volunteer, we need some supplies, and we need money to buy them. So this was, but not just that, not just asking money, but also giving something in return. So this seemed like a good solution.
Thank you very much for sharing your experience with us, Maria Esther. I will come back to you later on the round of questions for all the panelists. But first, I would like to keep a little bit the order we have pre-established before. And I would like to go back to Nonso. Sorry, Lefteris, that I'm keeping you waiting a little bit. But Nonso, I would like to know more about what you have explained in your introduction, saying that Soccer is not only contributing to keeping used plastic into the recycling system. And could you explain a bit further on how you come up with the idea of turning plastic waste into health insurance possibilities? Because I think that it's such a great idea. And I've never heard, like in all the years I have been working with plastic pollution, I've never seen something like this. And to me, it sounds quite revolutionary, because you're actually saving lives, not only by cleaning, but like with their, as you said, like women with heart pregnancies in Nigeria. Sorry, your mic.
Yes, thank you again, Patricia. I think the idea, I didn't come up with the idea came to me. when you live around poverty, you try to improvise and use limited resources to create a value. And when you've seen people die from things that shouldn't kill them, it drives you nuts, and you try to force yourself to think of solutions to solve some of these pressing issues. In 2019, I was going for a program in Switzerland by Ventures Lab. I was going for a accelerator program, and I was trying to book an Uber, but I couldn't. I had internet issues, so I called a friend to come and pick me up to the airport. I was waiting for him beside a landfill where is a dump site where people dump trash. I saw kids, about 3, 4 kids, picking plastics, because then I was into telemedicine, so people can consult online and talk to a doctor. My interest has always been to serve the poor, but I realized that an average poor person doesn't even have smartphone. How will he be able to talk on the internet? So when I saw a couple of kids on the trash picking plastics, they were excited. I still have the video in my old phone. So I asked them, I got curious and I went to them, what are you doing here? You should be in school by 1 p.m. And they told me, oh, we're picking plastic for mama because she have to sell it and buy us noodles and also get some drugs for my brother. The whole thing changed my mindset. So people could use garbage to create a value. Though I see people pick up these things to sell them, at that point I started thinking, how can I infuse these plastics into telemedicine solution? And I realized that for me to do that, I needed to bring in insurance, which means people can sell these things, use the proceeds to pay for their premium, and have access to basic health care like malaria, because these things will also end up in waterways and garbage, breeding mosquitoes that will still affect these children, claiming over 100,000 lives. So it wasn't worth it. So at that point, we had to use one of these problems to solve the other problem. That has been our journey.
Again, I'm just, I very much like the your project and the business model. I would like to know, because this is not only a massive effort that helps people, but it's also a massive effort, and more when it comes to waste collection and treatment. And how do the collection of recyclables happen? What happens with the collected recyclables, and how many people are today hired by social care?
Thank you again, Patricia. What we do with social care is we collect this waste, we sell them to big insurance companies who are our partners. Then they pay us for these plastics. Then it's the proceeds from these plastics that we use to finance the premium of people. Mm-hmm. So we are going bigger by 2021 because we want to partner with 100 companies in Nigeria, because we understand that companies are the ones that generate this waste more, and this waste ends in landfill. So when we pick this waste from companies, we use the waste, we sell them on behalf of the companies, use it to provide insurance for their host communities, which work for them, the community and the environment. It's a win-win for everyone. So we have a team of 9 people who do these things across some of our drop-off locations where people can drop waste and exchange them for premium. But by 2021, we're trying to automate the process by bringing waste reverse vending machines so that people could get it via barcode and automate the process so we can scale.
Okay, so like would that be like a returning, what is the name of that? As returning scheme?
Deposit.
Sorry?
Deposit scheme, yeah.
Yes, it's like a deposit scheme. You deposit,
okay.
When you deposit, it's about 3,000 plastics, but it's not limited. You could bring paper, you could bring any form, tin, and just about anything.
So not only plastic, but also
no, not only plastic. We collect a lot of things to give people access to have access to quality health, and it doesn't limit you in a region, because you could travel out of that region and go to another place. You can always access care in any place you find yourself.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And finally, I would like to know, because it's not only that it's a massive effort, as we said, of helping people and treating treating with waste, but also you mentioned that you collaborate with over 1,000 hospitals.
Yes.
That's a big network. Can you please explain further how you build this massive network?
Well, again, Patricia, when you live in a country with over 200 million people, you need to grow the hospitals so that people can all have easier access. And with over 20 billion plastics generated in Nigeria and less than 5% collected, we need to grow our network. When we started, we had about 900. We grew it to 1,001, and now we're hitting 1,002. By 2021, we want to hit at least 2,000 hospitals. And we are partnering with one of the biggest insurance companies in Nigeria, Hija HMO, who underwrite our risk for us. So they open up all these hospital networks for us so that when people are sick, they can always go to these hospitals. But we are trying to scale it up now to primary healthcare centers around the country. So before second quarter of 2021, we could reach at least 1,500 hospitals.
Okay. Thank you very much. I will make a few more questions later for all the panelists. And now I will finally go to Lefteris. And I very much like the introduction that you did of Analea and the project Mediterranean Cleanup. I think that I feel the need of like being young and not having a job. I'm originally from Spain, and the situation with unemployment there is also very bad. So I think that it's a brilliant idea of bringing back traditional jobs to young people. And so I would like to know more because you say that Analea it's defined as a social enterprise, and I'm not so much into business models, so that's why I like so much learning about them. Could you please explain more what a social enterprise is and how do you operate in the context of plastic pollution and how this project is finally sustained? Because you said that you're not only doing cleanups, you're doing also other different things with Analea, right?
Yeah, all in all, Analea is a social enterprise. So social enterprise is an enterprise that has as a core value doing something positive for the world, creating a positive impact. The difference with an NGO is that we are trying to have business models that are sustainable. So have some specific revenue streams. So currently our revenue stream is we are working with organizations or companies or individuals, and we are charging a specific amount of budget per kilo of plastic that we clean from the sea. So let's say a business model is like we get paid per kilo of plastic that we collect from the sea. And all the profits, they are reinvested into cleaning more plastic from the sea. So all in all, in the end of the year, we do not have any profits. And everything that we do is about maximizing the impact we have. So the main thing that we do is like educating the fishermen. I say fishermen because I think in Greece, at least, we don't have any fisherwomen. Okay. So we educate them first to clean the plastic from the sea, and secondly, currently to prevent this plastic from entering the sea. And about the education that you mentioned, it's a side project nowadays. It keeps on running, but because of lockdowns that we have in the country and coronavirus, we made it all digital. So it's like these courses, and it actually takes much less time for us to run it. So that's why we were able to focus on cleaning the seas.
Great, thank you. And my next question was also posted by one of our participants, very at the beginning of the panel, and is that do fishers also profit from the plastic they collect, and how do they do this?
Well, that's an interesting question. In this one, we actually tried in the beginning to do it in a volunteering basis, and we saw that they were collecting plastic on average around 1 to 2 kilos per day per fishing boat. But then we experimented with a reward, and then the average raised to around 8 kilos per fishing boat. So it was like almost 7 times up. And we are actually trying to do what Nonso is doing also. We are trying to create like a common coin among the fishers of the Mediterranean. So we pay them per kilo of plastic that they collect from the sea. So we want to show them that there is value in cleaning this plastic from the sea. And then we get this value one side from the organizations that we work with, and on the other side because of the products that are created from this plastic. So this adds a different aspect on the story of the product, and at the same time it's a product and an awareness campaign, if we can call it that.
Okay, thank you. And finally, I very much liked the point that, of course, if they are fishing for plastic, they are bringing back the plastic they are collecting. But last year I did a few workshops in 3 West African countries, and they were all saying like how much plastic they were collecting, but there was not an organization or a project such as yours. So for them, what they told us that they were doing was like they were getting the plastics, and from 10 buckets of fish that they were collecting, 6 were plastic in their area, but they would throw back the plastic to the ocean. So it would be like a reinforcing feedback loop, right? So I would like to know more, because I of course, like the work you're doing is very complicated, because what do you do with that plastic, right? I would like to know what happened with the plastic you collect more. You said that you were sending it to recycling, but like how this happened, and what is the capacity of this?
Well, this is actually the most interesting question and the most challenging task that we had to face. So in the beginning, we didn't know what to do with the plastic. So we just filled in like a huge warehouse with all of this material, and we're just trying to find out what we're going to do with that. We have now created like 3 recycling lines. And in order to achieve that, what we do is like we have a person in every port that we operate. So this person goes over there, confirms that the fisherman brings the plastic from the sea. The fishermen put the plastic in special bags, and then they put a tag name on, so we know which fisherman is bringing the plastic. And then all of this plastic is entering specific bins. So we have our own bins in every port. So not the municipality is entering there, not the government. When these bins are full, and it depends on the port, we send them to some central location. And there we divide the plastic. So currently we have like 3 recycling lanes. The one is for the PET plastic. This is mainly the plastic bottles. So we export that to Equals, this fashion company in Madrid. The second one is about the nets, and the nets we collect from the sea is the most common plastic we find. So it's around 25 to 30% of our total plastic catch. So this we send to health disease, and then they turn it into products such as socks and swimming suits. And the rest, the various plastic, if we may say that, we send it currently to the local recycling companies, and then they recycle it. But we have like a specific recycling procedure just for this material. And we are now experimenting also in creating more stuff out of that, such as roads and this kind of materials.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Very interesting. Maria Esther, Nonso, I would like to keep up, just extend the question I just did to Lefteris. And can you explain a little bit more what happened with the plastic waste or recyclables that you collect? Because Lefteris is in Europe, you, Maria Esther, you are in Ecuador, in the south of Latin America, and also you're in Nigeria. Like the contexts are so different. Do you know if the plastics that you collect do really get recycled, or yeah? Maria Esther, would you like to? Oh, sorry.
We have both. The situation is that sometimes we do cleanups in remote places, and it's difficult to arrange the logistics for the collection of that material to get into the recycling companies. And also, not very few recycling companies can take care of that, of all waste, because when you find it on beaches, it can be very degraded, so cannot be recycled, and unfortunately have to go to landfill. But we now made an alliance with this company that we have 2 projects with them. One is that they took a big sampling of what we are collecting and took them to the plant and made all the analysis they had to make, and they will be collecting all we are taking out from the beaches in one province, that they can service this, and then we want to extend it, but right now in one province. And we have this very important project, and I was very happy to listen to Lefteris project, because we are starting this project with fishermen also to collect the fishing nets and prevent it to be waste in the first place, and to give value to this material, and for not so it's not discarded. And this company is going to recycle all the propylene fishing nets. And so part of the waste we collect can be recycled, but other part cannot.
Okay, thank you very much. Just so I try to contribute a little bit. I'm not sure if you are aware of an initiative called the Global Ghost Gear Initiative. It's a global.
Yeah, we are a member there.
Oh,
So,
perfect.
Yeah.
Great. Maria Esther, if you want more information about them, I could pass you, because they do a great job, and they have like global presence and working with people in different countries. So they're like an initiative made out of many projects doing taking nets from fishing activities. So that's it from my side. Nonso, do you want to add something into what happened with the recyclables that you collect?
Oh yeah, normally when we pick up these plastics, our goal is to mop up these things from the environment. So we follow up to see where the end use of this plastics, because they are garbage. So our partnership with some of the recycling companies is to ensure that they buy these things up from us. And most of these plastics are also upscaled into another product. Sometimes they are exported to China, to India. Like a couple of months ago, one of the biggest recycling companies in the world reached out to us to buy directly from us, which I believe will raise the cost of this service. But I can't mention their name till next year when we go into these services. So when we mop up these things from the environment, they are really recycled into other services.
Okay, but you mentioned that you have partners in China. Do they do some recycling in China and they receive? Because I know
So
that.
we have a Chinese company here that we sell to directly.
Okay.
So they want to take it out from us.
Okay. Thank you. I try to make this the following questions to everyone, because I know that when you present everyone who is presenting projects here, they have such an interesting project, and normally we are positive in the way of and we are very passionate. But I would like to know, and you have mentioned a few of them, but I would like to know more about what are the barriers that you face when doing your work. I think this is important for our participants to know, because if they are thinking about creating their own projects, they already know which kind of things they can be expecting. So, Nonso, if you would like to start this round.
Okay, I think for us, it's access to capital. Can you hear me? I think my internet is not my connection. Okay, for us, starting Care, our biggest challenge was access to capital, because you don't have access to capital to start. So I think that's our biggest challenge. What we faced, we had to struggle to raise money from family and friends so we can be able to set up our collection centers. So it was our biggest hurdle, because in that process, we lost a lot of money and we learned from our failures and we try to do what is right. So our biggest challenge then was access to capital and mentorship. But I think now, but after a couple of months, you get over this particular challenge.
Okay, thank you. Lefteris?
Oh, I don't know from where to start, I'll just try to narrow it down. Oh my God. I think maybe one of the biggest challenges, it was like persuading people that something can be done that was never, achieved before. So I imagine, like, for example, 3 weeks ago, I was in a port in North Greece, and we started working with the fishermen to bring the plastic from the sea. And the port authorities, recycling factory, everybody said, we don't believe the fishermen will bring at least 1 kilo of plastic back in the land. And they brought like 180 kilos plastic that night, and the next night, and the night after that. So for me, like, really, persuading people that your idea can work. So I find this to be very hard. And also creating synergies among organizations. I find it challenging that many people in organizations, they don't think as a win-win situation, but they're thinking in patterns of win-lose. So, this kind of stuff. So yeah, synergies and persuading people to that your idea is worth it.
Okay, yeah, definitely. Trying to change minds is not always easy, and more when it comes to such a traditional jobs as fishing at some points. But you never know, and like, we can always be surprised by the outcome. So thank you very much for trying. Maria Esther, would you like to share some thoughts with us?
Yes, all of the above. Changing minds, and I would mention political interest. I mean, government's interest to lead real change. Sometimes it seems like scientific evidence loses a lot of weight when money is involved, and the industry, it makes a big hard lobbying to prevent single-use plastic regulation laws to be strong, and they want to continue doing business as usual. So that it would be great if we could have more political will to change things.
Yeah, that's a tricky one as well. But I think that as more people keep complaining and we young people and try to convince other elder people, I think that things are changing, and things are changing for the positive, I think. I would like to read one of the questions that Subramanian, one of our participants, have made previously. And he says, what are your thoughts on combining a beach cleanup and healthcare? Simply to put everyone participating in a city cleanup over a month in exchange for insurance. And then he asked about what are the challenges that you face in general, which we have already mentioned. I don't know if here you can do a combo, the three of you. What are your thoughts on this? Maria, would you like to start this time?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
Oh, no. Like the last part of the question is what we already talked about, the barriers that you all three face. So the first one was, what are your thoughts on combining beach cleanup and healthcare simply by putting people participating in a city cleanup over a month in exchange for insurance?
Yes, I heard that. I just thought it was for Nonso.
Well, no.
Yeah, well,
no.
I think it's a challenge. We haven't tried that. I think it's a great idea. It's just that we should find a way to pull that off. I mean, we should to get something like that done. We should make a lot of alliances and all the logistics necessary to do it. But I think it's a great idea. Not just for health insurance, but for other things that could need people from that specific community. I mean, maybe not that exact thing back, but for what people need.
What do you think, Nonso?
I think it's a great idea, because when Lefteris mentioned it, it was like a sparkling that went through my head. Because in Nigeria here as well, millions of people live, fishermen, most of them live below poverty, but we've not considered that side of the market. So I think it's something we'll explore next year, because it's a great opportunity, and we'll explore it next year.
But we need, just for the participants, we need to keep in mind that the plastics that are collected, if they are not recycled, they will go back into the environment. So it's a way of like doing the cleanups, but making them back into the system, the recycling system.
Well, I think it's beside the cleaning up the ocean, it's also from like an advocacy, so people can understand that when they are consuming these things, you know, it goes into the drainages that empties into the ocean. So we'll just try around and to see what we can do. Because for the average middle class, he doesn't need that insurance, because his company provides insurance for him. So he can clean up an ocean, he can join in cleaning the ocean, so that we could use his effort to provide insurance for a child in a remote community or something like that. So it's like giving back in the environment. So I think it's a wonderful idea, something we'll explore next year.
Yeah, I believe so too. Lefteris, would you like to add something?
I think I would add what you mentioned also, Patricia, like this plastic that should economy have like a real impact, and I think then you can find the real value to create. And I think that's from our case, this is the challenge. Like you must find stakeholders for which like the collected marine or beach plastic has value, so as to distribute this value then to the local society. I think this is the most challenging thing. Who would be willing to get this material?
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think that I will do the final question, and I like to end up always being more positive, so it's not all depressing about plastic pollution. But which kind of advice can you give to our participants who are thinking about making plastic waste as a solution for the way of living, like creating an organization or a project that they could profit from it? Nonso? Advices?
Okay. Well, people are driven for different causes. And if you want to go into something because you want to give back to the community, you just have to do it because you love it. You have to do it because it's something you are passionate about. But if you do it if you're doing it because you want to do it as a lifetime thing and you want to earn money from it, you have to also look around how you can optimize profit from doing the same service. So there are so many opportunities and so many things we could do around ocean sustainability, keeping the environment clean. So it's now up to you to find a niche in that industry and what you can do for yourself and for the environment. So this is just my thought.
Thank you. Lefteris?
Well, I would start with the same. Like, I think they should find a sector that they are passionate about, and they should focus there. And I would suggest just, to start, like start small, start local. Doesn't really matter. I think based on my experience, at least the most important is to start, pilot, fail, improve it. And then weirdly enough, if you have this procedure, like failing, improving, slowly you start to creating much more impact. Like when we started just training the fishermen of our city, I was not expecting that we'll have like working in 15 cities in the Mediterranean cleaning plastic. It just the one led to the other. So I would just suggest, not to embrace your mistakes and just start doing something.
Great. Thank you very much, Lefteris. Maria? Maria Esther, sorry.
Yeah, I think that to start, it's very important. It doesn't have to be really big or perfect. To do something is important. I think that if you are already or want to start a project, you should analyze the specific local problem. Each place has its particular characteristics. Then you can be inspired by what it's being done in other places, but it's important to be able to translate that idea into the local context and include the community as a part of the solution. Actually, the solution to waste is not to produce it. So even though we are all working in cleanups and waste management, the ideal in the long term is to find solutions to production and generation, and to keep that always in mind, and that can only be done by including community.
Definitely. I think that we're just 1 minute away from 7. Do you want to add something, Ron?
Yeah, there's not much I can add. I thought that was a really rich discussion. I'm really, excited about all of the projects that you guys are working on. I think for our young ocean leaders, this is a really representative group of success stories. Looking at both the more nonprofit oriented model that Maria brings, and also thinking about ways to monetize that to make it financially sustainable. Here at SOA, some of the things that we prioritize are scaling and making things, durable and sustainable in our project ideas. That's what we support in our Ocean Solutions microgrant, and obviously through the accelerator. And so I think that your projects, all your organizations, I should say, all represent the very best of that scalable, sustainable dynamic. So I thought that was really exciting. I also would just highlight something I highlight on most of these panels, which is the importance of community, listening to our communities. Just as Nonso said, he happened to have this experience by being aware of the surroundings around him and the challenges faced by those in poverty, and responded in a really genius way to that. And likewise, as Maria said, the community may not need health insurance. Maybe they've got a decent government scheme, but they may need something else. We should be aware of all of the problems, not just oceans, not just plastics, and we may solve another problem that we're working on. So that's particularly an inspiration I've taken from all of you, and I thank you so much for joining us. We are at time. Since you've all closed out with a little advice, I'll just give everybody about 30 seconds to say any final words that you have, starting with Lefteris.
Okay, first of all, thank you for inviting us and having this amazing panel. It was really inspiring to hear the other stories. And I'm really excited, guys, that there are so many people like all of you attending this webinar now, that we are all working together towards the same goal. It's nice feeling that we are part of a global movement. So keep on saving our seas.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lefteris. Nonso?
I think Lefteris have said everything. I'll just add a little thing to what he said. I'm really grateful for this opportunity, and most importantly for you guys that are committed to ocean sustainability. It's great to see that people are driven to make our world a better place. And to our audience, I say thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Nonso. And Maria, you have the last word.
Well, thank you all for sharing this panel. I was honored to meet you all, and yes, let's keep working and doing and trying to make the work and the message to reach more and more people, and this is a long distance run, so let's keep doing it.
Thank you very much, everyone. It was, as Ron said, it has been very inspiring to hear all the solutions, because these are very tangible solutions to a big problem. So thank you very much for your time and your effort.
And just for the attendees still here, we will be here with the finale, as well as a special documentary from one of our young ocean leaders in Thailand on December 16th. So we will see you all then. and then go into holidays.
Yeah.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you very much, everyone. Bye-bye. Have a good night.
Bye.
Right. Thank you.